Hello everyone, here's the next tutorial. Going to be over Command Center first. Now, the way how you start off on this is going to be, the normal depot going down. What you're going to do is you're going to send the worker back to the mineral line so you can gather up additional resources. And a good way how to remember when to put down the command center on the low ground on time be 17 supply, and around like 278 minerals is when I send the worker down. Bam, 400, bam, the command center goes down. Now, the thing is that, you don't have to put the command center on the low ground. You can be on the high ground, a little bit less greedy. The worker who made the depot, you can send out to scout. I mean, those are safer plays. So yeah, you can send the worker out, when the depot's done to go scout. If you want to build the command center on the on the low ground rather than on the want to make sure they're not like trying to rush you. You can build the command center on the high ground here or be part of the wall. If you get like a beam bus on one base, which never really happens, but hey, you never know, could happen. You want to set the buildings in certain ways, so it's kind of interesting. Like maybe you don't want the depot, maybe you don't want the depot here, maybe you want it here, so you can put the command center here, the barracks here. So if they break through, they'll break through the depot. And obviously you can put a couple more buildings right here, and voila, a better wall versus going the other way, because you had to cover all of this. So anyways, when we go back a little bit, so I can explain this build a little bit better, you're going to be using the supply count a little bit more often when it comes to command center first builds. So you're at 17 supply, you make a command center, and you do not make a worker until put the barracks down. So you'll be at 17 still. As soon as those, try to keep track of the minerals. So like, when would be a good time to pull a worker, and by the time it gets to the destination I wanted to go, and drop down the barracks. Because maybe you're fancy pants, and you want to put the barracks on the low ground. People like to do shit like that. I do it sometimes. You gotta learn the timings of when that you can pull the worker, and when it gets to the destination, you drop the building down. Same with the command center. You heard me already said it before, so there you go. So 17 command center, 17 barracks, queue a worker up, and of course we are dropping a second barracks. Queue a worker up, and then we're gonna drop another barracks. See how I'm trying to time this correctly. It's like usually like 100 minerals or something like that. That one was a little off time, but there you go. Bam, 3 barracks. Notice the trend so far on these builds. The opener has always been changing, but after the opener phase, we go into the normal, what I call the locker number phase, which I really rarely mention about, but, you're like, what the hell is that, Well, this is the 3-1-1. So I got 3 barracks, I'm going to get a factory and a starport. Voila! It's based off on the first 3 buildings is the locker number combo phase. So I'm going for 3 barracks. I'm getting a safety bunker. I say safety bunker because, I didn't actually scout. And I'm like, well, I want to play it safe. So I get the bunker. So I safety bunker. It's not a reaction bunker necessarily because I scout. You know what I'm saying? So look, bunker. Everything else is the same. Look at this. And the double refineries. When do I get the double refineries? Well, You figure that out, you know. I skipped out on the eBay on this one because I'm like, hey, you know, I'm going command center first. Who the hell does that against Terran? I'd roll my eyes because like players do pull it off on people. It's usually a lower league, you know, troll kind of thing. I don't want to say troll either because like that will tilt you if you were to face it. You know, I've done it. You know, like oh, I'm fucking going against command center first, asshole. Huh. This guy thinks he's good, huh? He thinks he's better than me because he's going command center first. Well, there's a reason why people don't go command center first anymore. One is Reaper. Two, why he's trying to do it is maybe he's a higher league player. And three, maybe he's trying to be cutesy by placing his buildings in places where it prevents the Reaper from coming in. So, two things you can do is you just do your normal build. You'll be teching up faster. I mean, yeah, he'll have the larger economy, but like you can tech up quicker. So batter cruisers are pretty damn fucking good. I'm just brainstorming very quickly of how to deal with it because I don't really see it too often. I used to try to do I say try because it didn't always work for me. I used to do like one base all in against this. Or what else you can do is just do a two base pressure. You know, just try to siege him early in the game. Just pressurize him. Just punish him for. You're not going to win the game, perhaps, but you will cause some damage where it's like, hey, you know, you're just spanking him. Like, don't you ever go command center first. It doesn't do any good for you. You know. I'm not denying that you not trying to say that I don't do command center first, but I understand there is reasons why you don't see it too often anymore. So, okay. Then I got the eBay. So, an other little slight deviation that I did. Rather than so I went, you know, command center first, obviously. Went into 3 racks. Everything looks the same. Refineries. The other change I made was I delayed the eBay. Okay, if I was playing against Terran or Protoss, I would get the eBay earlier. But I'm thinking as Zerg because this is more likely the build I will use against a Protoss or Zerg player. I would say like Zerg mostly. So, but I won't even do this build in particular. But we're just going. These are templates. This is a template. Build template right here. Okay, this template right here is gonna like dictate like almost all your builds. You're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, what I mean is that like I just went over like what 3 different opening phases into this template right here. This is the locker number phase. So I went with 3 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, 311. Okay, that's the locker number code right there. 311. You can go 111. Everyone's familiar with that, right? You can do 1 2 1. You do 1 3 1. You can do 1 1 2. You can do 1 1 3. It's just like everything's got its pros and cons. Not everything's the greatest of things. Like what? 1 1 3? Yeah, it can be done, but is it good? Probably not. Trust me, I done my command center person to 113. It kind of died out at the beginning of died out at the beginning of Legacy of the Void. It was pretty good in Heart of Swarm. So, anyways, everything's the same. Look. I shouldn't have to explain anymore about this build. You see what I'm trying to? This is what I'm trying to point out here, guys and gals. I am making this so easy right now. Everyone's like, oh, okay, new build order. No need. None of that is needed. Like, look, I'm even taking the gas timings pretty much the same. I say pretty much the same because maybe you might change it a little bit because you're gonna have a higher mineral income for a command center first way. So, but look, everything's the same. I'm using all those things I said earlier. You know, the depots and stuff like that. that's in the past now. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you gotta watch those damn videos. Watch them completely. Okay? None of this, I already know this shenanigans. I say that because, that's something I've been catching on, the trend on my feedback on, multiple reviews is, they're like, I already know this though, Doc. I'm like, yeah, but there's something that you're not doing that you think you're doing, but you're probably not doing. That's what I'm trying to point at. Because even I think that. I'm sure there's even higher level players than me would think that my gameplay is good. It's like, if it's good, then you'd be a champion of something, right? So that said, obviously, there's always something that's you're satisfied with, but in reality, that it's actually not enough. Sadly to say. I don't know how to put that in a good way, but the thing is there's always some kind of thing to improve. Think yourself as a boxer, you know, Golden Glove champion, you know, upcoming champion, I should say. Always think of an upcoming champion, you know, like always be hungry for that belt. See, or in let's think of like traditional martial arts. You're you may be black belt. So this is more for like the Master League players and stuff. Like you might be a black belt, but it doesn't mean that you cannot improve, because once you give up on trying to improve, once you think, hey, oh, my macro's good. Oh, my macro's good. What's wrong? What did I did here? Maybe it's this matchup that maybe these queens is what makes it hard for me, you know? Like, I mean, it's okay to rant once in a while, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, battle cruisers. I hate battle cruisers. I hate battle cruisers at the moment, but, you know, the versum, that is. But it doesn't mean you can't improve it, because you can probably rant on something like that, but it doesn't mean that you should give up just because of that reason right there. There's a way to figure out something and beat it, okay? So, yeah, everything was normal. So, like, yeah, command center first. I'll go over the build very quickly. Command center first. Get the tech lab. Get the stem going. Get the factory going. Sometimes, yeah, you get the factory, then the stem. I can't remember which. I want to say factory, then stem, because of, yeah, I'm, like, correlating with other builds, like 2-1-1, for example, you know? You'll get the factory right away. But you want to get the stem going as fast as possible. That's priority. Yeah, see, factory, starport, get the +1, starport, reactor, add-ons. What add-ons should I get, Dark Sun? Well, depends on what ratio of units that you want. If you want more marine heavy, get reactors on 2. Want to be more marauder heavy? Have 2 tech labs and 1 reactor. So that's the best way I can go and explain on that. So that's ratio. You don't, I mean, I guess you can go like all tech labs and all reactors, but then you have all marauders and all marines. But I know you're probably like, yeah, but I can still make marines out of the tech lab. Yeah, but you invested in the tech lab, so you should make a marauder. Because if you're going to make a marine, put a reactor. But I do have another tip on that, which I'll go over later. Doesn't mean that you can't make a marine out of a tech lab, is what I'm getting at. So, anyways, speed this up a little bit. A little other tip. I call this like a little combo, little mini combo in the build order, which is the add-ons is one. That's one of the combos. The second combo is this right here. I call this staggering upgrade right here. You get +1 attack, +1 armor, and when the +1 armor is almost halfway done, you get the armory and eBay. And the game is finished beforehand, but basically what happens, it will time out perfectly to where the armor upgrade is done. You get the +1 armory attack or shield, depending on what unit that you're getting. And you get the +2/+2. Okay, very quickly, I want to go to I'm trying to keep these videos short because no one wants to hear a bunch of rambling. Okay, so other CC first build. Now this is where it's what I'm doing now is so I'm trying to explain how I do my build order phases and stuff, and why you can just like take one phase, remove it, put a different phase, but everything else is the same, right? So right now we did sorry, getting everyone dizzy. Right now we did everything. So I have it to where it's 4 different phases of a build order. Okay, and so the thing that we've been doing is that we were changing our first phase on every build. Now in this game, we did not change the first phase of the build, which is we're gonna go command center first again. But now we're going to change the locker number phase, I like to call, which is instead of going 3-1-1, we are going to go 2-1-1. Everyone's familiar with that, right? 16 Marine medevac timing. So let me show some what I like to call macro hacks, or greedy plays. I guess you could call it a greedy play, because it is greedy. So a greedy play will be like this. So if you look over here, I'm gonna make a reactor. Bam. You have to? No, you can make a Reaper and scout with it, So this is like a Zerg build that we're using here. You can scout with a Reaper still. It's going to be delayed. You can stop whatever pull first 4-ling run by that they might try to sneak in. Will it stop at like a 1,000-ling run by that, people randomly would do? No, you won't. But I mean, that's just part of the build. That's why it's called greed. It's the gamble that you made. It's a gambling move. That's where the small percentage RNG is put into play. Now, when people say, "Oh, that's a build order loss," it's like, well, yes and no, but at the same time, you made that call. You made the call to greed. You made the call to not depot scout in the early game. You made the call to build the command center on the low ground. You made the call to go for the command center first before the barracks. You made the call to not make the Reaper and make the reactor. You see what I'm saying? Like, you make the call not to make the bunker. In this case, I would not bother making the bunker in this particular build. Why? Because it's probably better to have the Marines on the ramp gathered up, like maybe like here, depending on the number you have, here or here. I like to go here. And if they try to attack up, you can just stutter step a little bit and hold command, and they can't get through. And yeah, it's kind of funny, but it depends. You have to know if it is, if you have enough Marines to defend it. If not, then you just get behind the depot, mineral walk the workers to here, and raise the depot. Now you're like, what's the mineral walk on the workers? You just box the workers. F1 and right click on the minerals, and it will mineral walk through your Marines while your Marines are gunfiring and everything. But if you can't hold it, you could try a mineral walk, and hopefully if you can't get them in there in time, you might have to cut your losses and raise a depot. Anyways, anyone who's not familiar with the 2-1-1 build, it is, well, it's going to be a barracks. I'm going to say it like this. It's going to be a barracks, refinery, and then it's going to be a second barracks, a Reaper maybe, or in this case, we are skipping it out on the Reaper. We're being greedy, and we're going straight for the reactor. Then it's going to be second depot normally, but since we've got a command center first, we're not. But I'm making the depot anyways because I don't want lings to get into my base. And then you're going to make a second refinery. Then you're going to make, well, I make a tech lab because I want to get the stim going as soon as possible, but you want to get the factory going. Normally, I could get the factory down right away. The reason why I couldn't is because of this second depot. Because I definitely have enough supply to do it. I just did this second depot for safety. The only reason why. So, here's the next tip on macroing. Is the prioritizing of macro. Okay, this is prioritization that a lot of people have a ridiculously hard time with. Okay, a lot of people don't know. So I'm trying to like macro, but I am trying to fix my prioritizations in my build, which is I definitely want the workers. Okay, first thing is always the workers because I play greedy. So that means I gotta make the workers. Like why would you get this damn thing so early if you're not making the workers out of it? Bad investment if that's the case. So workers, first priority. Second priority is the upgrade. I want to get some Marines on the field first, but the second priority is to get a few units out. Third priority will be the stem. Fourth will be the factory. And I'm trying to trying to decide what I need right now. What I need. See, like this one link goes by. I went chase it, and then I went back to the ramp. Like I want to stay at the ramp. I don't want to get caught off guard and get surrounded by a bunch of links. If there are a bunch of links come in right now, you just grab this, click that. These guys will just stay on this ramp right here. Like I got enough Marines to take on whatever, perhaps. Oh, you know what other good trick that you can do too, actually, after I think about it? If you see a bunch of links, you can also send the SCVs right here and hold command on the ramp. I never actually thought of it until just now. So, I mean, that's another cool move to do. They have to manually click on the SCVs to kill them. So that's another trick that you can do. It messes up the AI, basically. Anyways, for the 211... Yeah, so you're gonna get the factory, reactor, starport. Same jizz. Flop, bam, bam. Okay, so there's different ways into the mid game. Okay, so this is the we just now getting out of the locker number phase, and now we're going into the mid game. Mid game. I guess I can explain a little bit more on. Okay, so mid-game, I went for 2 eBays. You could have gone a command center. You could have gone for, 3 more barracks instead. You can rearrange these things, okay? So that's the part where a lot of people get confused at, and I'll see 6 barracks, and I'll see 1 barracks in a command center. That's confusing. So the call in the playbook, I would say, is that do you want to upgrades? Okay, or tech more? Okay, double eBays. You want to be greedy? You want more economy? Okay, get a command center first, and then put more production down. Or you can go for the command center, then the 2 eBays, which is super greedy if you think about it. But this is also greedy too, going to eBays and then a command center. So, I know you're like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, it's a lot of reversal stuff that you can do. So, I'm not saying any of these things are bad. I mean, necessarily. But, like, those are the choices that I'm trying to give you. And the way how to do them, too. Like, some people can do it 1 eBay. So, if you do 1 eBay, think of the stagger and upgrade method that I told you about. Okay, well, you're going to go 1 eBay, you're going to go +1 attack, +1 armor, and into the stagger upgrades. See, the armory and the second eBay. So that's why I call that the stagger upgrade method. The whole build phase thing, I actually gave it a name now, finally. Yay! I call it the Frankenstein. The build together. Okay, anyways. So see, look, I went double eBays. Went for 1 gas. Command center. 2nd gas. when you do a command center first build, you're going to be very mineral heavy, so your gas timing is going to be slightly, probably slightly earlier than normal because of mules. Don't mule too much. Oh, when you mule the newest base if you can. I say if you can because sometimes people mule in their older base to be safe, you know, from, you know, attacks. But here's the thing though, like the more you mule your older base, the faster that this mineral line will go away. That's why they say mule the newest base. Now also another tip that people say is try to go for the big mineral patches. I'm not that hardcore on it, but apparently if you mine the big mineral patches closest to the command center, less likely to disappear. And there's also the mule pole that some people know. People who don't know is basically, I think they corrected it and changed it. Let's find out. Because it used to be where mule dies with a mineral in their hands. But I thought they updated to where that's not a thing by now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a thing now. Because I remember that used to be a thing. I don't know if it is or not. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. More likely I'd be corrected rather than being thanked. It's whatever. Anyways, yeah, see, everything's normal. Since I did 2-1-1 in the mid game, remember I say on 2 bases you want to be on how many barracks if you're playing bio? 5. So if you notice, I put 3 more barracks down. You see that? That's what I'm trying to line up. So 3 more. I will probably get 2 more later on. I'll get a second factory later on. And that's the things that you got to keep in mind on stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I explained that pretty well. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these videos short. This is probably the longest one, perhaps 27 minutes, it seems. So I'll see you all on the next video. I think I'm gonna go over proxy build openers. That's maybe like one of the few of the last opener phases. I almost went over almost all the opening phases that you could possibly do as a Terran player, but and then we'll go over in that next video we'll go over locker number phases, as I would call. So anyways, thanks for watching and hope to see you on the next video. Bye.